Hello everyone, welcome to Sweaty Thumbsticks. My name's MJ and today I'm going to be discussing the Nintendo Switch and the first month of use. How are we getting on with the Nintendo Switch and what is it like? Okay, so we've had it for just under a month actually, not an entire month yet. And of course, as you can see, we went for the neon variety. In terms of the looks, I think it looks incredible, very bright and awesome, eye-catching. In terms of the hardware, it's a great bit of kit. It's actually fairly comfortable. Although these controllers don't look it, I can hold it for a good few hours and be pretty comfortable with it. And of course you do have the option to remove the controllers anyway, which I do on occasion. It's not the lightest of tablets. There is the main unit. It has got a little bit of heft to it. But as I say, it's not too bad when you're actually holding it. But I play it often in bed. In fact, I play it almost exclusively in bed, and I'll get onto that in a minute. But I will oftentimes just put it kind of on the duvet like that on the screen, and then I'll have my arms flailed around just playing it like that, which I personally find very comfortable. In terms of the controllers themselves, the analog sticks are certainly very nice. They feel good. The buttons themselves, certainly the top ones, are a bit clicky. I prefer less clicky buttons, to be honest. Even these ones here are slightly clicky, but not to the detriment of the game, or the games. I say game because I've really only been playing Zelda. Not strictly true, I have played Shovel Knight, Fast Remix as well, and Bomberman. So again, I'll talk about all of them. But yeah, controllers are fairly good. I do want a Pro controller, but I am enjoying using the Joy-Cons. Another thing on the hardware front, very satisfying to put back in. And I like how when you do so and you've got the unit switched on, it makes the sound effect, which is really cool. Now the games. First game I played was Bomberman, and Bomberman was a huge letdown, have to be honest. It's actually the weakest Bomberman game that I've played. The controls didn't feel quite as tight, the single player's just a bit not very well done. And with that lack of tightness in the controls, it means that the multiplayer isn't as fun or as competitive. And in fact, when I tried to play it online, I couldn't even find a match. So, not the most positive of starts. However, moving on from that, I then played Fast Racing RMX, which I thought was pretty good. Nice vehicle design and nice track design, and just a good, fairly straightforward and fairly simple futuristic racing game. Next I played Shovel Knight, which I absolutely loved. I loved the humour, the controls, and being able to play it portably was a key factor in being able to enjoy it, because you could just pick it up and play it for a few minutes and just take it wherever you go as well. Now, Zelda Breath of the Wild. The game itself is absolutely incredible. I am not a Zelda fan at all. Like, I quite liked Wind Waker, but other than that I've barely played them because I just haven't enjoyed what little I have played. Even Wind Waker I got bored with after a while, and I know that this is kind of sacrilege, and Zelda is one of the biggest game franchises in the world. But it's just not my type of game. However, Breath of the Wild, there's a few key factors that have kept me super engaged with it. So I say a few, loads of factors. So the controls are tight and great, and they've added like proper jumping. You can jump whenever you want, which I think gives you a slightly more feel of freedom. The open world nature is fantastic. You can go anywhere, and you can go anywhere from the very start. If you can physically make it there, you can get there. And what I mean by that is, very early on in the game, you're presented with a task of getting on top of a mountain to get to a shrine. And the game doesn't give you any suggestion of how to get there. But there was two very simple things that I did that immediately clicked and meant that I enjoyed and appreciated the game so much more. The first thing was, this is going to be a very minor spoiler for the game. So the first thing was, there's a guy chopping down trees, and he's saying depending on where you stand makes a difference on where the tree falls down. I think I had a sword or an axe, and I was like, oh, that's amazing, you can just cut down any old tree. So I tried cutting it down, and it was across a valley or a ravine, and so I started chopping it down, and I was like, hang on, you can't chop the tree down to just simply land across the two cliffs. did it, and yeah, was able to walk across it. Incredible. So immediately I was like, this is such a simple thing. It's like real life logic rather than video game logic. So video game logic, you can't just chop down the trees. You can't affect trees usually. But this is great logic. The next thing was, when I actually got to the base of this very large cliff, I didn't know how to get up there. I just thought, surely you can't climb it. I started climbing immediately. Again, no prompting from the computer of the game. I just started climbing, and it was the greatest feeling, and it had little platforms every so often that you could hop onto. And so these things gave me a sense of freedom and a sense of logic that I hadn't felt in a game before. Then you combine that with the smaller details such as cooking. You can find hundreds of different types of items and food. You can hunt animals, and then you can cook them. You can think about what would actually be a dish in real life. So if you combine egg with rice, I thought, would it really create egg fried rice? Absolutely. And that happens all the time. So that, combined with the shrines being rewarding and the constant progression and the constant just great feeling that you have throughout the game, the great characters, different mechanics, it's amazing. And being able to play it off of TV, and you know, not just like the Wii U, which was off TV, but in the same room essentially, being able to take it into my bed in the bedroom, you know, on the toilet. I've done it a couple of times. I'm not afraid to admit it. It is just fantastic. This is kind of console quality gaming in the palm of your hand, and that is why I love the Nintendo Switch. Because when I'm not editing videos, I have a great passion for video editing, as you may well know. And it takes up a lot of my time. When I'm not doing that, I like to go to the cinema or watch TV shows, watch movies on my TV. I don't actually have much time for gaming these days, even on my beloved PS4. But the Switch has given me additional time that I can do it, either a bit in the morning before work in bed, or at night, getting sleepy, going to bed, just having a few minutes on this little device has been so joyous and so wonderful. And it really is a fantastic bit of kit. I really think it's tremendous. Ukulele is a game that I've been looking forward to for ages. Well, I mean, ever since it was announced. I think it looks incredible, and I love 3D platformers. And I've firmly had my PS4 pre-order down now for many months. Well, I've cancelled it and actually pre-ordered it on the Switch, because I just know that I'm going to get more out of it. I know that I'm going to be able to put in the time and the effort that the game will actually need. And it's just a fantastic console. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do with the console next, what they announce. Yeah, I really highly recommend it, and I think it's a good price point as well. So thank you very much for watching, guys. I mean, the thought of playing old SNES games on this thing, the thought of playing Donkey Kong Country 2 in my bed is absolutely tremendous. Thank you very much for watching this video, guys. Do subscribe to the channel for more videos, and have a nice time with yourselves.